Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Truth Tiger. We're gonna go over some ways to recover from narcissistic abuse, and on this whiteboard here, I have the various kind of things that get messed up, and the things that get stolen from us by these narcissists. So we're gonna go over these 10 different points and see see what we can do to recover and get past it and get ourselves better. I did have this same whiteboard this past Sunday in my live, so for those of you who watch this, this might kind of be repeated information. In that, my camera was vertical, unfortunately, so we're gonna get a better camera angle, and I also do think this is better as its own video, so I can really delve deeper into it and not be responding to the chat and that type of stuff. So I think this is a better format for this. So let's get rolling. So first here we have healing the inner child. So this is a very big one, especially if you grew up in a narcissistic family or you had narcissistic parents. Your inner child, that little guy or girl within you, just didn't get to be a kid, didn't get to be loose. Things were very stiff at a very early age, and there was a lot of drama and expectations, and there was a lot of lacks of things. So, yeah, because just things were not the way they were supposed to be when you were a kid, you really lost that sense of your inner child, and your inner child is creative and fun and loose and wants to learn new things and try new things. And I mean, the inner child is awesome, and we really need the inner child to have fun in life and to explore new things and to just open up new possibilities. I'm going to actually grab a few toys from my desk right quick to illustrate this. So we got two things here. We've got the vintage calculator, and we have the antique fire truck. So this antique fire truck, man, you look at it, it's old, it's cool, it still rolls around. This front opens. I got this at a garage sale. I don't know, I paid like 10, 15 bucks for this or something like that, but pretty dope. Boom, boom. And I come back up here. We have the vintage calculator. How fun is this? From the 70s. Push the buttons. The buttons make a really nice clicking noise, and yeah, bring it closer so you guys can see. Let's try to actually do something. Yeah, there you go. See, it works and everything. So yeah, it's just like being like a kid. You can learn new things. You can enjoy things. Like, I mean, Jesus said, "Come to me like little children," because it's like you do want to kind of have that clean slate where you're not so caught up in all this judgments and programming and all this stuff. You do want to have that nice fresh start. So in terms of how you would heal, this is something that's going to be different for everybody. I'm not going to claim to have be a perfect expert or to have some healing plan for everybody or anything like that. But I would say just seeking creative pursuits, trying new things, just getting out of the house, trying to have fun in the little ways, as best you can. You really want to enjoy life in any way that you can. And you want to really have a fresh mindset. If you get to a certain age, like, oh, I'm 30, I'm 35, I'm 40, everything is exactly this way and doesn't change, and I'm locked in completely. You don't want to be like mentally locked in. You want to have a loose mind. And I would say, like, try a new hobby, try to learn some new things, like cook a new recipe for yourself, like whatever. Just try to explore some novel experiences and just try to have fun with life as best you can. Yeah, so that's going to look different for everybody, but you really need to find a way to heal that inner child. That little guy within you or little girl within you needs to be healed big time. So, yeah. All right. Next, we have abandonment issues. And these two tie in very nicely because it's that inner child or that actual child that was abandoned. And, I remember just as a kid, like, I was so like isolated and my own siblings were against me, and there was tons and tons of jealousy from my own siblings towards me, And I remember falling out of a window when I was 7, hurting myself pretty bad. And I have 3 different siblings, so I can only tell my one brother. My other brother and my sister, I wouldn't even tell them because of how much haterade I was dealing with as a little kid. And just, we're just these abandoned little kids, and we have these issues, and we have all these daddy issues and mommy issues and all this kind of stuff from these abandonment issues, and then you're an adult, you have some relationship or whatever, and it's just like, it doesn't work out, you get dumped, or maybe you even break up with them, and you end up just feeling so abandoned and alone, and like nobody loves you and nobody cares about you, and you're just so isolated and all this stuff. So you got to get out of this as best you can. For me, just being with God, being spiritual, really helped me out a lot. To know that I'm not alone in this universe, and then for me to just be myself, even though I have less friends than I used to. Like, I can be myself and I can be real. Whereas being around all these fake friends, I just couldn't even be myself. So it's really not abandoning, your inner self and who you are deep down. It's to claim that and to take hold of that, and that's what ends up getting thrown away. It really does. When you're around all these kind of people, they're just not even going to let you be themselves. They're not even going to let you be yourself. So it's tough. So you have to reclaim that, and get back to who you are, and taking good self ownership also helps. Like for me, I'm trying to clean the house more. I'm trying to just do these little things to really have a strong sense of ownership over myself. And I try to connect to people wherever I can. Like, I don't have any close friends right now because I'm going through my isolation phase and all that, but I try to just interact with people here and there, and just move through the world like we're all united and connected, which is the truth. So yeah. Next, we have mental imbalance. And this is a big one because it's like you go through all this narcissistic abuse, you go through all this gaslighting, you go through all this crap, and you start to kind of lose it. You get all depressed, you get all anxious. I've even heard stories of people developing things like schizophrenia just from being around so much gaslighting, man. Like, and just having all this lies and all this negativity and all this BS, and then just before you know it, something just breaks up here. And I've also heard people that just there's so much shame from all the rejection and discardment, and just so much shame is heaped onto them that they really are in a situation where they want to hurt themselves, and I've read comments, and I've talked to a lot of different people, and that's unfortunately a very common thing. And why wouldn't it be? Like, you're so mentally beat down by these people, and they don't show you a shred of real love. It's all fake love. So you'll kind of lose your mind dealing with this, and you'll get all squirrely and shaken up. And I know I was very depressed, and I was so depressed, like people would come up and talk to me, and I wouldn't even want to talk to them. I'd just be like, I just couldn't. I was so depressed and frozen up and weird. So yeah. And I mean, for me, I just had to, you know power through this as best I can, and force myself to get out of the house, and force myself to do the things I'm supposed to do, and force myself to go to the gym, and force myself to get better clothes for myself, and force myself to clean the house. And I really just had to force myself to do the things I had to do. And it wasn't fun, it wasn't easy, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I would say just watching videos like this, getting some affirmation, knowing you're not alone, is very huge for getting your mind right, because when you're in all the gaslighting and all the BS, like, you can't deal with all that. So I gotta move around a little bit right now. I don't know what I'm doing, but standing too still right now. But yeah, just gotta shake it out a bit, I guess. But yeah, being around truthful people and people who are not trying to keep you in the matrix, and in all the gaslighting, it is very crucial, because you'll lose it being around these narcissists. They will literally drive you crazy. So you have to get out, and you got to take the time to reclaim your own mind. Yeah. Next, we have physical imbalances, and I got a lot of these just growing up with these narcissists. Just It's in the brainstem, and just from having so much emotional stress and so much BS and drama and negativity and criticism and people constantly dragging you into all these fights and all these arguments and just oh man, oh my God, it'll mess with you. And for me, like I have asthma, I have celiac disease, I have this thing called Raynaud's disease where I go in the shower and my fingers are all wrinkled up like I've been in there for an hour or something like that. So my brainstem and my nervous system is just really trashed and overrun and overwhelmed from having to deal with these horrible people all the time and from having this whole growing up in this horribleness and then later on in life. Actually through the church, unfortunately, which is why I'm very critical of the church, is because I got narked out bad by people in there, and just having people constantly on your case, and then just there's a feeling of desperation of knowing that these people who are supposed to be your friends are actually trying to trap you, and it's a very horrible feeling. And my body just started to physically quit on me. It really did, and it was the main motivator for me to get out. And I did get out, and I do feel my health starting to slowly but surely get better. It just takes time, and I have to, take good care of myself, rest. Again, go to the gym, get outside, take walks. Like I just have to do healthful things and think positive, and just not let this crap hit me too much, because it will mess your health up. And I've grown up with people that I had one friend cancer in his early 20s, other friends, all these thyroid issues and stuff going on, and all these stomach issues. And then you're so angry, people have high blood pressure, and they got a headache, and they got a neck ache, and they got a backache, and they got a shoulder ache. And, yeah, before you know it, it's just all these physical issues. Because, like, your body tightens up. Like, your jaw clenches, your neck tightens up, you're squeezing your butt cheeks together. You're doing all this, like stress, like kind of stuff, and eventually it will wreck you physically. Just from having to deal with all the drama and being in that constant fight or flight mode. So yeah, you got to just get out and like I'm in my palace of peace right now. That's what I call my house, the palace of peace. So you got to make your house a palace of peace, and you can't let any not peaceful people in. Which, yeah, got to say no to the narcs. All right, now we have self-esteem issues. So yeah, all the insults and the put downs and the criticism and not being there for you when you really need them and stabbing you in the back and playing all these games and doing all this BS, like it ruins your self-esteem, it ruins your sense of self-worth. You don't feel like you're good enough, you don't feel like you deserve good things. And that can really tie into mental imbalance too, because of all that shame. You can put those two things together. And yeah, just like you start to really unfortunately hate yourself because these self-hating narcissists have inculcated you and gaslit you and manipulated you and just tore you down in everything you did. These destructive, evil, you know, demonic, satanic people who are destined for the pit of hell did to you, and they didn't hold anything back. They went as hard as possible, and they really showed God that, like, send me to hell, that they really showed God, like, don't give me any other chances. Don't, I don't know if there's reincarnation or not. I'm not going to say that, but, no second chances. They really are choosing hell. And, they really did attack your self esteem with all the name calling and the put downs and the BS. So, you know, for me, just getting out, having positive self talk, knowing who I am, being individuated, which I'll get to a little bit later, but really having a strong sense of who I am at my very core and not letting anybody else tell me who I am. God will tell me who I am because 10 agents of the Matrix will surround me and they'll hit me with all this BS, whether it's comments in a video or coworkers or whatever. They'll all surround me, and it's just like they're little punks, they're little pukes. I put my foot down and I make my fist and they run away, because in the end of the day, they live a life of lies, and I live the truth. We live the truth, So, yeah, take confidence in who you are, value yourself, and just don't let all that crap get too stuck in here, or really in here, really in here. Get up on my tippy toes here in the heart, and healing the heart takes time, but slowly but surely, and it's down in the loins too. Down in your loins. A lot of the self esteem is held there, so you'll get that stuff back, and get back to who you are slowly but surely by having self care and self love, and all that low self esteem crap will go away. So, yeah. Next, we have trust issues. And this is a big one and a very understandable one. Like, you got stabbed in the back, you got gaslit, you got lied to, you had all this BS you had to deal with. Now it's hard to trust people. Are they going to stab you in the back? Are they going to knock you out? They might. So who do you trust? And a lot of people will say this whole like tutti frutti, oh, you can trust everybody. It's just that one in a million bad person. You just stepped on that landmine and got really, really unlucky. And and they'll say that. And that is a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of crap coming out of their butts, man. That's a total lie, and don't even believe that. It is a minefield out there, and you need your mine sweeper, and you need to have good discernment, and you have to test people, and you have to kind of sit back and watch people and see what they do, because for me, it's like, and this is not everybody, but some people, I'll meet them, they'll seem really cool at first. I'll give it a day or two, a week or two, whatever, backstabbing, weird stuff, weird insult, whatever, and then I'll dump them. I'll say, you're not going to be my friend. You're not going to be in my life. Nope, and so I'm always testing people. And I'm seeing, are they going to be nice to me or mean to me? Are they going to love bomb me with fake love and, oh, you're so cool, blah, da, 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 and then stab me in the back later? Or are they just going to be like genuine, like, yo, bro, we're cool? Or, oh my gosh, you're such a cute guy. You're such a handsome guy. Wow, or whatever it is, like I'm gonna have to wait until I'm like, all right, I know this person is legit, and you can kind of tell when people are gassing you up and when people are being genuine. Your discernment, your ability to read people becomes very, very, very good. So I would say that in the beginning of this, I was terrible at reading people, and now I'm like top 1% in the world at reading people. I can read everybody to a T. I can read them like a book. And I did not used to be able to do that, but through the grace of God and through the skills I've built, I can read people very well, and that ain't happening. So be discerning, and the trust issues will go away because you'll know who's friend and foe. All right. Next, we have boundary issues. And this is another big one because narcissists have no freaking boundaries. Like, they are so up in your business. They're trying to find out all the stuff you're doing on the weekend, all the stuff you're doing here, all your romantic life, all your work life, all your friends, what apartment will you live in, what street you live on. Like, bro, they are up in your business and they love to cross boundaries. I've known so many narcissists that are like, I literally had a situation where I had a narcissist and there was a certain room and I was like, don't go in that room. And this fool had to defy me and go in there, because that's what they do. So they don't respect rules or boundaries or anything of that sort. Especially when they're your boundaries, they try to really walk over them and mess with them and all this stuff. So, because you were in that system and you grew up in that and you were around that, you didn't learn proper boundaries. And for me, I know in my early 20s, no boundaries. I didn't get them, I didn't understand them. But once I got a little older, I realized, oh, there's a lot of boundaries. And it's like, for me, it's like when I was younger, I would approach people with the eagle talons. You're my friend now, or you're a girl who likes me, or whatever it is. And I go, eagle talons, and try to sink them into people and like have this really possessive control sort of dynamic in the friendship, just not even knowing. Whereas now it's like I approach with an open hand, gently, like, I'm offering you something, you can take it if you want or not, or I kind of come in just like, hey, like, I can kind of gently put my arm around you, I don't need to get the eagle talons off, or I can kind of give you a nice gentle hug. It's not this eagle talons grabbing you, but it's what I learned from my parents and my upbringing and my family and all the people I were around did this eagle talons thing and didn't have any respect of people's faces, And for me, I understand that like you got to approach people gently, you got to be nice to people, and like people have their own lives and on their own time and whatever. Like, I remember a friend would text me, "You're busy. Why are they all mad that I'm busy or whatever?" Or just something stupid like that. So yeah, we learn how to respect boundaries, and we learn that and a lot of boundary respect again goes back to individuation. So once you have individuation and you have a strong sense of who you are, you're not going to be all up in people's boundaries, crossing over and whatever. But if you're not individuated, then it's like you're all in this amorphous blob, and where you end and where they begin, just who even knows. Whereas once you have boundaries, I know very well where I end and where you begin, and I don't play around with that. And if you're married to someone or something like that, you do kind of mesh together a bit, but other than that, there are some very solid, hard boundaries, and I don't cross over them for anything. And a lot of it's just the father too. Like having a good father, you'll learn what the boundaries are. You'll learn kind of what the rules are, what to do, what not to do, and not having a good dad, which most of us did not. We don't learn any boundaries. We're just like, oh, everything's okay for everybody, and no, you have to kind of know what's up with stuff. So yeah, I would say just individuating, getting a better sense of yourself, and just approaching people in a more calm, open hand kind of way. And if people come at you with the eagle talons, man, sidestep that. Like if people are so possessive and weird about you, just don't even deal with that. All right. Next we have individuation issues. So yeah, again, because there were no boundaries or anything like that, where you start and where they begin, it didn't really, there's no line between that. And narcissists try to view you as an extension of themselves, or to view you as someone who's there to serve their own ego, or try to view you as an object or something like that, that's not good. And your sense of individuation, and sorry, I'm hiccuping here, and personhood gets messed up. So your sense of you like being a person gets kind of messed up, and you just think you're supposed to like, I'm trying to even think of how to describe it, but really this is the whole matrix, and it's the narcissists themselves too. But it gets you in this state of, I guess, slavery, or this state of not, I mean, a better way to describe it would be a state of depersonalization that gets you in a state of depersonalization. And when you're in a state of depersonalization, you certainly do not see yourself as an individual. You see yourself more as a robot that's here to serve the machine, and not individuated people live on this very schedule. I go to work, I go to see the family thing. My uncle is renewing his wedding vows. I this, I that. Big family fight, very stressed out, but pretend it didn't happen. But work, bunch of drama with coworkers, pretend like we're friends, blah, 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 blah. And then before you know it, it's just there's nothing going on up here. There's no independence. There's no sense of who they really are. And for them to really do things by themselves is not good. I guess I could have maybe called this codependency. I could have put that up there. I don't love that clinical term, but it is a good term, codependency. So you could think of that as codependency if that's something that you're familiar with. And like, guess what? Like all narcissists are codependent. They're the most codependent in the world. They need to suck people's life. If a narcissist is alone by themselves, it's not. They're not going to do it. And their victims are also generally codependent too. And you could call this codependency if you want. I mean, that's a workable term for that. I like to call it individuation issues, but you could call it codependency. And it's just, yeah, getting your legs underneath you, being your own person. And like for me, it wasn't a fun, easy process. Like I think of it like the Shawshank Redemption, when he had to crawl through that the sewer pipe full of urine and feces and stuff to get out of there. Like it's not a fun process. Everybody will betray you, stab you in the back, whatever. But You got to just put your own feet underneath you and plow forward. And there were people who were helpful and stuff like that. Not everybody stabbed me in the back, but the overarching thing was people messing with me and being fake with me and gaslighting me and just twisting things around. So yeah, I had to really just say F everybody, put my feet on the ground and march forward, and it's not fun, but once you do it, you'll be very glad you did. And you will have yourself and you'll finally be yourself and you'll finally be like, hey, I'm a person. I'm a person. I have my own will. I can do my own things. God gave us free will. I can enact my will in whatever way I want. I am not limited by the constructs of these narcissists and by the constructs of the matrix. I have free will. I have a free mind. The only person who can decide to limit that is God himself. Anyone else who's deciding to limit that is doing so does not have a moral or ethical or really, you could call it a legal right to do that. They don't have that right to do that. So yeah, we are individuals, and all the narcissists I've ever met are not individuated at all. So they're just trying to get themselves to the top of the blob and suck, whatever from the people who are lower in the blob, and it's a mess. So, and the victims of them are not individuated either. So you got to individuate and really, really be your own person. Really, like aggressively be independent, be your own person. Don't listen to anybody. You know what I mean? And I mean when I say that, like if people give good advice, listen, but don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to all these haters or fakers or love bombers or whatever. Nah. And then lastly, we have repressed anger. Like for me, I had a lot of anger towards a lot of people because those people gaslit me and tricked me and were manipulative to me and dragged me into fights and drama and just said very, very disrespectful, unkind things to me. um, Tried to sabotage me, were very controlling over me, tried to hijack my life. And no matter how much I tried to be nice to them, give them their way, whatever, it just got worse. So I really had a lot of anger toward these people, and I really was like these pukes, and I was like, I want to break these people's jaw. I want to hit them with a baseball bat. I want to run them over with my car. I want to really, like, freaking take them into the basement and torture them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of this going on, and it's tough to get past because I had a lot of just like I want to break the necks of these little pukes, and yeah, and I could add in there's repressed shame and repressed anxiety and a lot of other stuff that will come up too, but we're gonna just go with repressed anger for now. And man, like I had to just kind of give it time and really pray to God a lot and just try to let go of it as best I could because I had a lot of anger toward these people, and I had a lot of anger toward the bystanders that just sat back and did nothing too. Because there were a lot of those people who weren't narking me out per se, but they're very lukewarm, and they sat back and were like, two people are fighting, two people are fighting. We're not going to choose right and wrong. We're going to sit on the fence. We're going to say neutrality. Actually, he's bad because he's fighting back, and it's like I'm actually standing up to the narcs. I'm standing up to them, and you fools are enabling them by doing that. That's what they're doing. And I mean that really made me angry. Then not to mention the complete BS the narcissist, their lies, their manipulation, always trying to criticize, always trying to put down, always trying to, and the thing is it's like they know they are your parents, your husband, your wife, your family member, your very close friend. They know they're these close people to you, and they decide to take advantage of that and to try to completely ruin you and drive you into the ground. And that's what it is. These people are trying to ruin your lives, and you know, there's a lot of anger. And even someone in my comment section just got me pretty mad, just with their fakeness and gaslighting and acting like some 5-year old. So even that got me quite mad, and it's angering. It is. Anger is an appropriate emotion to feel when dealing with these people, but you got to find other outlets. For me, I lifted weights, whatever. Like I try to just take a long walk, think about it, write about it. I don't know, but you don't want to act on it or take revenge or do anything like that because that's not going to put you in a good place. But the best revenge is to leave because they don't have supply anymore. and they're going to just go completely crazy. And it's honestly funny with some of the haters on my comment section and stuff. Like, I know that they are high and dry and their whole families have left them and that they're not getting the supply anymore. So now there's kind of this last ditch attempt to try to harass someone's channel or whatever and make dumb comments or something. So yeah, but it's a lot of anger to get over because it's like, how could they be so evil? How could they be so disgusting and low, and petty? How could they be that way? And you trusted them and they stabbed you in the back. So it takes time to get past all this, but yeah, you got to isolate, you got to get away from everybody, and yeah, and then the bystanders too, the people who just la la la, la who could have helped you, who could have affirmed your viewpoint, who could have talked to you, who could have helped you get out, who could have stepped in at any moment and helped you out. And they're like, no, remain impartial. Neutrality is everything. Neutrality is righteousness, and it's not. And those neutral people are going to go to hell right with the narcissist. So they are just as guilty. You see some horrible thing happen, you see some woman being attacked on the street, or I don't know, you see something nasty going on, or you just drive by, well, whatever, not my problem. Like, that's what that really is. They're saying not my problem, and they're gonna have big problems coming up in the future. So yeah, but I still struggle with this a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I still have some anger in me, and it's gonna just take some time to get it out. It just is. And it just, living a peaceful life, helping others, being as good of a person as I can. That's what will really do it. Maybe I should hit the bag, do some boxing. I don't know, but you got to find outlets though. You got to find outlets, and you got to just move forward. You got to move forward. You got to just get past it. You got to just try to not be mad at them anymore and try to laugh it off as best you can. Yeah. All right, everybody. I hope this was a good video. I hope this will give you guys some tactics and some ways to, heal and recover from the narcissistic abuse. I hope this kind of gave you guys some areas to think about, and some areas that are like, hey, that's something I could use some improvement on. I'm not perfect on these 10 areas at all. There's still some stuff I'm struggling with. Repressed anger is definitely one of them. I would say some physical imbalances too, some relationship issues. So there's still some stuff I'm struggling with here, but just day by day, we'll figure it out, and we'll get better day by day, God willing. So yeah, everybody, thanks for watching this video. I really, really appreciate you. I really appreciate everybody. I send a lot of love to everybody. I love you guys. All you guys that watch my stuff, like, I love you guys. Even some of the haters and the fakers and whatever, I still have some amount of love for you guys too. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and yeah, God bless you all.